Howdy, folks. Welcome to Spanish Fork 17. This is the first softball broadcast of the season. We've got the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, the rivalry game for you here this afternoon. On the call is Andrew LaRose and John Tucker. Coach T, how are things feeling? How are you liking softball season so far?
Oh, so far so good. We've seen pretty good things from both these teams, both of which kind of had a rocky start to the season, but have been able to clean things up from there, and especially Spanish Fork, who's kind of been on a tear lately. And I believe overall they're at if I'm remembering right, a 2-6 record. I'm going to pull it up here just to verify. But, yeah, they had a little bit of a tough start. Today will be their first day of region play. And like you said, this is a game that does hold a little bit of gravity to it. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens here. But, I mean, so far, Maple Mountain on the other side, the Golden Eagles are at 4-4, so they're at 500. So this game also holds gravity for them. They're just trying to break above 500, and hopefully this will be a good springboard for the rest of region play. And it's really anybody's game. We haven't seen what these teams have done at a home site or at a away site for Maple Mountain, and I think either way it'll be a really good sluggerfest.
Yeah, this one is always a fun matchup. It's always fun getting the rivalry in any game, but also in softball it's just kind of extra special sometimes. Spanish Fork, as you're noting, 6-2 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the losses aren't losses that you don't want to chalk them up as scheduled losses, as you will. But Riverton is one of the best teams in all of 6A. They are phenomenal. They've been just a powerhouse program for the last really several years. And they lost in an extra inning, so that's a rough first game to have to run into. And then Desert Hills is always usually pretty solid, too. So those are two losses that's like, okay, you got those on the schedule. Those are, kind of want to use those as a barometer of where you're at as a team early in the season. And then able to get their last win against Payson, so that's a pretty good win also to kind of lead things in here. So on a 4-game win streak right now, and then coming into, again, this game against the Golden Eagles. For Maple Mountain, they, as you said, noted 4-4 on the season, sitting there at 500 so far. They are coming off of a win as well. They absolutely mauled Wasatch 11-1, and before that absolutely mauled Manti 17-2. So on a big 2-game win streak for them. Their losses: Lehigh, they've lost to Hillcrest, Cypress, and Palo Verde, that being in a tournament, those first 3 games. So definitely a rough start to the season for the Golden Eagles, but have then been able to since turn things around and make it back to 500. So what's awesome is we get to talk about the Lady Dons, who are coming off back-to-back state titles.
Right.
Pretty crazy being able to win the last 3 state titles, hoping to go 4 straight, which would be almost unheard of. They've won 6 of the last 8 years, so the program here, absolutely insane. There's a reason why this field is called Don Andrews Field. He's just the program that he built, and then what they've continued to be able to do since he's left has just been nothing short of fantastic. Always fun to be able to call the Lady Dons, have this nice little change-up as opposed to, always doing baseball during the spring. It's always nice to come out here to Don Andrews Field and be able to call Lady Dons game.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. And, you mentioned their loss to Desert Hills and as well their loss to Riverton, which you talk about scheduled losses, and I think sometimes, teams that especially feel like they're playing with the advantage, just like you say, need to be able to get into a rhythm a little bit. They had some really quality wins, especially when we look at their win over Payson, their most recent game. I think that'll give them a lot of confidence going into this game. As far as just the margin of the victory goes, it was the closest one this season, so I think they're going to have a lot of confidence coming into today.
Yeah, and this is a team that graduated a few key players as we are now underway here on Spanish Fork 17. One's going to be ripped right down that right field line. Excellent effort on the play. It'll be just out of her reach. It'll be foul, so it'll end up just being a long strike to leadoff hitter Bryn Bunker for the Golden Eagles. It'll be Bryn Bunker, McLean Carter, and Kylie Dunnigan that will be due up here in inning number 1 for the Golden Eagles.
And we saw Carter just making a great effort, a great dive out there in right field, and honestly almost got a glove on it. Just a couple more feet and she would have had it, and that would have been an early one to put away.
Oh, yeah, just barely out of her grasp. On the mound here today, or on the bump as you will, for the Dons is Lucy Evans, one of kind of the two main pitchers that the Dons have thrown out so far this season. Evans, the senior, will get one in there for strike 3 to get Bunker out for out number 1 in the top of the first.
Yeah, it feels like they're rolling already.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to start things off here with a solid strikeout. Bunker, the designated player today here for the Golden Eagles, and an important bat in their lineup. So to get her down and get that first out is a big thing here for the Lady Dons. McLean Carter due up here for the Golden Eagles. That one pumped in there for a strike. Count moves to 0-2 here on Carter. Another one sent out into kind of shallow right field. I say that, and it just barely even doesn't even get out of the infield dirt. So the play will be made by Hall, and that will be out number 2.
It felt like, I mean, just by the way it sounded, it seemed like there was a lot more umph on it than it actually turned out being. Wind's definitely not a factor today. It's a still calm day, a little bit overcast. As a matter of fact, pretty much perfect conditions for a game, and I think that you always enjoy it when it happens. There's always a fun factor, you know, when the wind's kicking up or it's scorching hot or freezing cold. But it's also nice to just be able to come out, and we're probably sitting happy at about maybe 54, 55 degrees right now, and like I said, it's completely dead as far as the wind goes. So should be a good day for some softball.
Yeah, this one shot out into left field, and it's going to one-hop the – oh, they're actually not going to say it's going to one-hop. They say it actually found its way over the fence for a solo home run there by Kyla Dunnigan. So it's going to be a 1-0 ball game here for the Golden Eagles as they get that solo home run from Dunnigan.
Now we're at kind of an interesting angle.
It's a terrible
over here. It's interesting is maybe a kind word, but yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, and you know we're probably about a good 150 feet away from the left field wall, so it's going to be difficult to call some of those hits out there, but we'll definitely do our best.
Yeah, from my vantage point here, it looked like it did. It bounced like right in front of the fence and then kind of found its way over. But again, the left fielder out there, I mean, Overturf was over in the area and looked like she almost came down with it, and because of that, it just kind of looked like it was still inside the ballpark, but I guess it found its way over the yellow line. So 1-0 here, Golden Eagles over the Lady Dons. A first pitch strike to number 20, Gracie Jensen. Cleanup hitter here for the Golden Eagles as well as the opposing pitcher. She'll foul that one away. It'll move the count now to 0-2. Two outs in the top of the first inning. A solo home run by Kyla Dunnigan to lead things off here for the Golden Eagles. She's going to slice one over towards first. The play will be made over there by Archuleta, and that will be the end of the top of the first. So just that solo home run by Dunnigan for the Golden Eagles. 1-0 ball game here against the Lady Dons on Spanish Fork 17. While we've got some time in between, want to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Thank you so much for tuning in today, whether you're on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Be sure to click that subscribe button and join our Spanish Fork 17 family. We've got all sorts of great content there on the YouTube page, including a lot of high school sports, again, stuff like this. Dons and Golden Eagles games, softball, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. It is there for the most part on the YouTube page. So if you're a big Golden Eagle or Dons fan, be sure to join the family at youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17.
And pretty soon here, I can't verify this for sure, but we may even start to see some boys volleyball.
Oh,
Who
yeah,
knows?
too true. Now that it's been sanctioned.
Yeah, Utah High School Athletics Association just barely sanctioned the event, so we're seeing a lot of high schools pop up with volleyball teams, and also if you do happen to be an ex volleyball player, then there's definitely a market for coaches here in Utah right now. They're actually pining for them just because it seems like there's more openings than there are positions.
Yeah, definitely. If you play some volleyball, go talk to your local school districts and see what might be open. And there's certainly not a shortage of talent here in Utah. I know that y'all are out there, so yeah, go check it out. They definitely need you.
Well, the Golden Eagles take the field now. You got Carter over in left field and Carter 2. Or it might be Carter 1. I'm not going to make any assumptions here. Over in center field, and then over in right field, Robinson with Donegan at short, Tibbles at second. At third, you got Groneman, first, Henney, and up on the mound is Jensen with Charrington behind the plate.
Now an in for a ball. It's now a 2-0 count here on leadoff hitter Jade Romero. Was a key part of last year's squad, really can bring the heat at the plate. Also, it's got some great wheels. Stole a ton of bases last year. Was very comfortable in that leadoff spot last year, so not shocked at all to see her in that same place here this year as that one. Will also miss. We'll move the count now to 3 balls and no strikes. Jade Romero, Tatum Hall, and Jada Carter are due up here in this inning for Spanish Fork. 3-0 shows bunt, pulls away. It will be in there for a strike. So count now moves to 3 balls and 1 strike.
And a little bit of a late call there, but right call. It's pumped right down the lane.
The 3-1 will be sent out into center field. Play will be made out there by McLean Carter, and that will be out number 1 in the bottom of the first. That will be Tatum Hall, Don's second baseman. Hall, another one who had a monster season last year and pretty much picking up right where she left off last year, already having a phenomenal season so far for Spanish Fork. Romero, for that matter, also picking things up in that kind of same spot. They've both done a great job here to start things off in the 2024 season here for Spanish Fork. Hall will watch another one go high. It'll move the count out of 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, 1 low, 1 high. What you want to bet? This one's right in the middle.
Oh, I mean, that's for Hall's sake, that'd be really nice. Be able to get a pitch she can swing at. The 2-0 will be just a tick low.
Good eye there. Well, these are 2 very lively dugouts, aren't they?
They sure are. I love the support, the chirping. It just makes for a fun atmosphere. I find honestly that girls sports tend to be a little bit more lively in their their support of their teammates.
Oh, my wife could probably tell me the psychology behind that, but
This one is roped out into center. That is going to be the first base hit here for Spanish Fork off the bat of Tatum Hall. So a 1-out single in the bottom of the first to get things up and rolling here for Spanish Fork. We'll bring up Jada Carter, the right fielder for Spanish Fork. It'll be a first pitch ball to her. Forgot to highlight that it is again Gracie Jensen on the bump here for the Golden Eagles. Bunt attempt will get a little piece of it. Leaving up the count at 1-1. That one very high.
Turrington, for a moment, threatened to throw over to second, but nothing came to fruition. And
I mean, Hall isn't like a blazer like Romero is, but certainly he's got some speed. Gets up and going on that one. It'll be a nice read out there, out in shallow left field, like way shallow left field out there, putting a perfect place there to make the play on Carter.
Now, which Carter is that? Is that McLean or Chelsea?
So Jada Carter at the plate for Spanish Fork, and then the catch made by Chelsea Carter.
Chelsea Carter. Now there's three Carters in
Three
the picture.
Carters out
in
there.
midfield
Yes.
for the Eagles is McLean.
Yeah, so out in center field is McLean Carter, out in left field Chelsea Carter, and then at the plate was Jada Carter. Is there relations? We probably certainly for the two Maple Mountain girls, but
I mean, it is a pretty common last name.
It is a very common last name.
Who knows?
It is out there. So 2 outs here. Big swing from Archuleta that will get out of play for strike one.
And although the score wouldn't indicate it, Spanish Fork's been making a lot of good connections here, and they almost went perfect in the first inning, if not for that one over the left field wall, that run over the left field wall. So they, sometimes the score doesn't exactly show the whole story. It's 1-0 in favor of Maple Mountain, but Spanish Fork's definitely been keeping things interesting.
And that one ends up nicking Archuleta, so she is going to make her way over to first base. It'll move Hall over to second, so runners on first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. So Spanish Fork still threatening here in the bottom half of inning number 1. They will bring up their catcher, Olivia Carroll. Carroll having a pretty sensational year here so far for Spanish Fork, hitting .370 with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs, leading the team in RBIs so far on this young season.
Well, she's the right person to have at the plate.
She sure is. This is a big RBI situation for her, so love to see it. The count is 0-1. Pitch from Jensen is
good check swing there.
Oh, yep. Just gonna able to hold off on that one. Move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Heard a Maple Mountain fan that wasn't terribly pleased with that call. That's also another thing that I love is when we're doing these crosstown games, you get a good mix of both Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain fans, and so you get to hear the big support for both teams.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Some of these fans are traveling further from the Maple Mountain region, or from the Spanish Fork regions, than they are from the Maple Mountains. Yeah. Mapleton kind of wraps around Spanish Fork here, and there's some people from way out around the lake over here in Spanish Fork, so it's kind of a mix.
Yeah. The 1-2 pitch is going to be fouled away. It'll get up and out of play, so Carroll will stay alive here with the count 1-2. Another 1-2. It'll be a slow roller down that third base line. It'll find its way out of play and foul. So once again, another 1-2 count.
Well, she's got a good eye, and you mentioned she's leading the team in RBIs right now, and she's made contact several times. It's just about making the contact in the right moment, and I think she's just been eyeing them up really good. And they'll be happy to capitalize right here if she can put one in any playable area.
And it will just miss there, and it'll move the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, she really sold it, made it look like it was really deep inside. However, I don't think that one was that deep. I think it just barely, almost could have been called a strike there, and the Maple Mountain fans definitely seem to think so.
Missed by that far, but gets it on that pitch, though, so it'll be the first strikeout of the day for Gracie Jensen. It will strand the runners at first and second. 1-0 ball game here. Golden Eagles with the lead. We'll get you inning number 2 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. 1-0 ball game here after 1 inning between rivals Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain. The Lady Dons up against the Golden Eagles. A solo home run in the first inning by Kyla Dunnigan. The lone run in this game for either team, as things are maybe trending towards more of a pitcher's duel as opposed to a huge offensive explosion. Both teams certainly capable of fireworks. Both teams have put up double-digit runs in several of their ball games so far this season. Spanish Fork absolutely known for having very potent offenses throughout the years. But again, so far a little bit of a quieter game. Basically only 1 hit allowed on either side. Archuleta was also hit by a pitch, so 2 runners were left stranded in the bottom of that first inning for Spanish Fork. Up now is Izzy Groneman for the Golden Eagles, and she will slap that first pitch foul, and it'll actually just kind of nick the top of the fence over there and get its way out of play.
Yeah, so far there hasn't been a lot of I don't think there's been any errors committed, actually. I was going to say a lot of room for error, but it's just been a really sound game so far, and a great play's made right there to tag out at first. But I just think that so far this has really seemed like a defensive battle, and we could see that tide turn really quick. Like you said, there was the one little blunder, which we saw the ball go soaring over not even soaring, it just barely made it out of the left field wall. So everything still feels really tight. 1-0 lead, and that could honestly change any second now, especially the way that the Lady Dons played defense in the first inning. We could see things make a quick reversal.
Lydia Tibbles up here for the Golden Eagles. She'll watch the pitch go by, and I'll move the count on her now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tibbles, the Golden Eagles' second baseman, batting 6th in their lineup today. She'll watch that pitch as well. We'll move the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Groneman, the first batter here in the inning, grounded out to Emery Pintar, the third baseman. So 1 out in the top of the second inning. Another one that will be low, so nice job of being patient here and working the count more into her favor now with the count full. Chelsea Carter and Taylor Robinson due up next here in the lineup for the Golden Eagles, holding on to a 1-0 lead after 1 inning. And that pitch will go just a little bit low and outside, and Tibbles will make her way over to first base, taking the 1-out walk here in the top of the second.
Well, so far, that seems pretty uncharacteristic of Lucy Evans, who's been really great from the mound so far. And I don't think that'll indicate any sort of run that's coming from her. I mean, she was close to perfect as far as strikeouts go in the first inning, so I think that'll continue to be the case, but just a rare walk there.
Yeah, it really has been quite accurate so far today. Hasn't really been mincing pitches. Has been going right after these Golden Eagles hitters, but that one a little bit uncharacteristic as she does pump in a first pitch strike to the next batter here, Chelsea Carter, and make it 0-2 now. So runner on first, one out here in the top of the second. Another pitch that that's going to just barely miss.
Oh, no, it
doesn't.
Yeah.
They did call it a strike. I was about to say, it looked pretty good to me. So, as we've mentioned here, our angle's not exactly the most ideal of angles, but second strikeout of the day here for Evans. So now 2 outs here in the top of the second.
I think I've pointed out before that the home plate ump definitely seems a little more methodical in his approach to the game. He's calling some a little late, some actually none early. It's been pretty much every call. He's just definitely taking his time thinking it through unless it's loud and clear. So, which can be a good thing.
And that's one that really, to me, just barely misses. So another 2-0 count. This is Taylor Robinson, the right fielder for the Golden Eagles, up. She will watch that one in for a strike. Brinley Charrington due up next for Maple Mountain. Should it get to that point? This one is fouled away. We'll bounce over towards one of the other fields here. They'll move the count now to 2-2. That one is in there for a strike. Third strikeout of the day for Lucy Evans, having a nice kind of bounce back inning there for Spanish Fork.
Good framing by Carol, too. She definitely got it in the right spot for that to be an easy call.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pitch framing is a pitcher's best friend. If you got a backstop back there that knows how to do that, really makes your life that much easier. Mm-hmm. Still 1-0 ball game here after the top of the second inning. As we move on over to the bottom half of the inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, take us away.
We'd like to thank Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and MVP Sports. Speaking of MVP Sports, we were looking at the lineups before the game, and a lot of people know MVP Sports as the place that's going to, take care of. They're not a sporting store as far as much. I would say they still have some sporting goods, but they more so have a focus on getting you custom printed items, and you're talking about jerseys, hats. They'll set your whole uniform up. They'll also set you up with sports books for pretty much any sport. They'll have your name emblazoned on the front. It looks very nice, very professional. We're actually looking at Spanish Fork's lineup right here, and it's
beautiful.
It's really nice, yeah. They do carry equipment too, and we don't want to minimize that. You can go in there to get your general sports goods, but they do have an emphasis on the custom-made items as well. So definitely check them out for all your sporting needs, and they do have a new location. They used to be right there on Spanish Fork Main Street, but they are now moved down towards Cal Ranch. I don't have the exact information right in front of me, but yeah, just look them up on Google Maps. It's a wonderful new day and age where we can do that, right?
Absolutely. Oh, forcing some dangerous plays out here is the leadoff hitter, Audrey Overturf, here for Spanish Fork. Lays down a little bunt and an errant throw there by the pitcher. That's Gracie Jensen, a little bit high there to her first baseman. So excellent job there by Overturf to make that into a way to get her into scoring position.
I think Jensen may have gotten so used to, making her pitching underhand throws that when she got put in the position to all of a sudden make an overhand throw, it may have felt a little weird for her just because she hasn't had to make that type of throw this game. And like you said, went a little errant there.
And everybody charging there in on that one. And the ball is also going to get away this time. This one far out there in the right field enough that Evans is going to make her way over to third, and she will be safe. And that is going to bring in Overturf with the bunt single there for Lucy Evans, and then she'll advance all the way over to third on the throwing error.
Yeah, good time to have a mound meeting, kind of talk things over, and mostly just get the team cooled down a little and say, hey, listen, we're still in this. We're still fighting good. Let's just keep our heads. And, up to this point, they've played really good, really sound softball, and I think they'll continue to do that. And they almost actually tagged Evans out over at third, almost clipped her heels, and she just barely got on base in time. So they're still playing really well despite those two little blunders.
Yeah, exactly. Errors can be costly, and you hope that's for if you're a Golden Eagles fan, you're hoping that this is not something that creates a trend here in this game. But again, nice timing here for the mound visit, as well as also to call in the infield as well, talk things over, just kind of get everyone settled down after the two throwing errors to say, hey, play within ourselves, play our game, take a breather before you make the throw, and just make sure it's going to be nice and accurate.
Yeah, there's no rush there. It's better to make the quality throw and maybe take a little time off and get them at the plate. You don't got to beat them by much. You just got to beat them by a what's there's not a real term for that. The eye length.
A win's a win. A win is a win is a win is a win. It may be ugly, but as long as you got one more run than them by the end of the game, that's what matters.
As long as the umpire can see it. That's all. And sometimes they can, right? That's the hard part about the game. We talk about errors for players. There's definitely times where there's errors for umpires, but for the most part, they're really good.
Sure, yeah, they're absolutely human, just like the rest of us. But yeah, always big shout out to all the umpires, referees, the guys and gals that have to be in the trenches making those calls. Pitch will be fouled away by Emery Pintar for strike one.
Well, Spanish Fork is, definitely shrinking the field a lot. Every single time you see the outfielders moving in about 20 feet, and then they go back about 17, and then in 20, back 17. So pretty soon with all these bunts, they're going to play them so far in that they might be able to start playing the backside of the outfield.
Again, that is definitely a strength of most Spanish Fork teams, being able to drive it out to the outfield. But I love this small ball approach to kind of get things started, as again the offense was a little bit rough in that first inning. As another one is fouled away by Pintar, moves the count to 0-2. It's the second inning of this one between the Golden Eagles and the Lady Dons here at Don Andrews Field. We are in the bottom of the second inning. No outs yet so far, as the Dons have been able to capitalize on a couple of throwing errors by the Golden Eagles to score a run here and tie this ball game up. They've got Emery Pintar up with an 0-2 count. She's going to foul one away over towards the batting cages just behind us.
Well, they mentioned that our producer here at Spanish Fork 17, Pete, mentioned that we were kind of in the safe zone away from the foul balls here, but all of a sudden I'm not feeling too good about that. I mean,
yeah, that one felt
close.
A little bit close,
Near safe.
We certainly had our fair number of foul balls that have hit the production van, as that one is swung through there by Pintar. Second strikeout of the day for Gracie Jensen. It'll be out number one here in the bottom half of the second inning. I remember a game, I think it was 2 years ago, that a Lady Don ended up popping one up, and it broke the windshield of the van.
On the van, wow.
We got a great picture of it, though, so that was super fun. Squeeze play here, and they called her out. What a play there by the Golden Eagles. So they're able to gun down Evans at home.
And that's a good heads-up play. We were just talking a second ago about how Gracie Jensen, she was sticking with the underhand pitches and then all of a sudden had to throw overhand, but she had no problem making that little scoop pass there to Brindley Charrington behind the play. And, just a pretty much good heads-up play by everyone involved, and especially get it there just in the nick of time.
So Leah Higginson tries to lay down the squeeze there, but they throw out the runner at home. So she'll be over there at first base on a fielder's choice, and that will be a first pitch ball to Jade Romero, her second at-bat here of the day. Romero lined one out to center in her first at-bat. Jensen's second pitch will be a little bit high and inside. Moves the count to 2-0. Gracie Jensen on the bump here for the Golden Eagles through 1 2/3. Allowed just the one unearned run. Again, 2 errors in this inning, creating that run for Spanish Fork. That one will clip the lower outside part of the plate there for strike one. View of Higginson there over there at first base.
No, that's funny. The scoreboard had it as a strike before the umpire even called it, but they know what's up in the
They
box.
know, absolutely. This one laced out into left field, right down the fence. It'll be foul. And it leaves up the count at 2-2. One ball game here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 count on Jade Romero. Runner on first for Spanish Fork. One run across here in the inning. But a nice play at home preventing a second run. The 2-1 is going to be hit out into left field. That'll be a base hit to keep things rolling here in inning number 2. First hit of the day for Jade Romero.
A lot of offense generated in this inning, and they were only able to score the one off of it, but it honestly feels like a lot more than that. They've just kind of been kept at bay. A lot of plays been, there's obviously the play that was made at home plate, and it'll just be a matter of closing out the inning here for Maple Mountain, who I'm sure would love to see this inning over.
Oh, yeah, and this is a very dangerous hitter that's up right now in Tatum Hall. She'll take that first pitch for a ball. Hall in her first at bat hit a single, so 1 for 1 on the day already. Batting .429 on the season coming into this game. Also has got 3 home runs so far on the season, so it's got some big pop.
.429.
.429, yeah, I mean...
that ain't too shabby, if I say so myself.
It ain't too shabby. There is someone on, as I was looking up stats here earlier today, Gracie Jensen, who's pitching here today, batting average 818. 818.
For the folks at home who don't understand what batting average is, that means that just over 8 of the times out of 10 that she steps up to the plate to bat, she's getting on base. So just a really significant, just a really fantastic batting average.
Yeah, so coming into the game, according to Max Prep, she had 9 hits out of her 11 at-bats.
Wow.
It's a pretty big percentage. I would be pleased with that in my slow-pitched softball league.
I don't know. Some kids would be impressed with that and T-ball and
absolutely.
And coach pitch. Yeah.
Exactly. You name whatever league it is, it's going to be just absolutely incredible to be batting that much. This one sent high in the sky, but it'll be fouled away out past that left field fence. It's going to move the count now here. He's got a full count now on Hall. You got another view of Higginson over there at second base in scoring position. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. The Dons can take the lead with a nice base hit here from Hall. The payoff pitch upcoming here from Gracie Jensen. Hoping for one more strike to get out of this inning. And Hall instead will keep battling, get a little piece of that one.
Yeah, they just don't want to go away, do they?
They sure don't. I mean, again, this is a big opportunity here for the Dons to take the lead and get themselves into the third inning, feeling pretty good, scoring 2 runs, kind of starting to wake the offense up a bit. Another full count pitch. This one laced down the first base line, and that is going to be a base hit for Tatum Hall. It's going to bring in 1 run. She's going to advance over to second, and it's going to lead to a play at the plate. They're going to throw it back over to second, too. Kind of wacky sequence there on defense for the Golden Eagles. But it will be an RBI single for Tatum Hall. They take the lead here in inning number 2. The score will now be 2-1. And it will also... Actually,
it should be 3-1.
Apologies, yeah. That's 3-1 as Higginson scores as well as Romero on the play. I kind of forgot about Romero. Heads up play there as was able to advance on the throw over to second base, seeing a good opportunity. So it's 2 runs across there for Spanish Fork. Now a 3-1 lead here in inning number 2. Ball's going to get away from the catcher. Nice job by Hall to make her way over to third base.
Well, that just kind of felt like it was just waiting to happen at any moment. It was the jar that was about to burst. You know, they were sitting there simmering, and that was just the play that kind of threw everything into chaos, and Spanish Fork definitely found a way to capitalize on it.
Carter's going to pop one up. It's going to hit the infield dirt, and it's going to roll its way out into foul territory.
Now, it was interesting on that last hit. If I was the catcher Charrington behind home, I probably would have held on to that ball, but she tossed it back over to second. But you can kind of control the field from behind the catching mound. So, hey, if you want to take a big old lead off and get halfway between second and third, I'm going to go ahead and let you, and then make the throw when you're halfway over, and we can kind of put you in a pickle situation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's a reason why, you know, catchers honestly usually are some of your smarter players. They have a good understanding of the game, and so she felt like there was an opportunity to make a play out there. So certainly can't knock her for that as the count moves, and it's 2-1 here on Carter. As that one definitely high. We'll move the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike. Spanish Fork still threatening here with the runner on third. 3 runs across already in the bottom half of the second inning. 3-1 ball game between the Lady Dons and the Golden Eagles here on Spanish Fork 17. Always fun to catch the crosstown rivalry whenever we can. The 3-1 going to be slapped into foul territory. The play almost made over there.
That was by second baser Groneman. I might be mispronouncing that. Am I correct on that, or did she come in and then Donegan come over her head?
Wow, that's actually looking at the jersey, it looked like it was number 10, but I've got number 10 out in right. I don't know. It was the shortstop that went over and tried to make that play. That's Donegan.
Well, that's what our books are saying, at least.
That one's going to be laced down the third base line. That's a tough one to try to dig out there, as that's going to end up scoring Romero. So now it's going to be a 4-1 ball game. That one will be, I believe that one will probably go down as an infield single for Jada Carter. And then she will advance on the error.
Now this bottom of the second inning has just been a chronicle of errors for Maple Mountain. And like I said earlier, they've had, at this point, ample opportunities to put this inning away, and I think they definitely like to. But Spanish Fork, just a lot of heads-up plays, a lot of extra bases, a lot of speed behind them to be able to get the stolen bases, and they've just found a lot of ways to capitalize throughout this inning.
Yeah, you've seen it in a variety of ways here for Spanish Fork, as they've played some small ball, they've laid down some bunts. You've seen them being able to drive a few that have gotten through the infield. The one thing we haven't seen yet so far is a big drive out to the outfield. That one is going to be smacked out into right field. They will throw it in, but certainly not in time to get Carter, so it'll be yet another RBI single, this one off the bat of Elise Archuleta. And now it's going to move the score to 5-1 in favor of the Lady Dons.
One silver lining to this inning is we've seen Taylor Robinson right here in front of us, and if that is Robinson, there's been a little discrepancy over here about who's who and what's what, but it seems like it's Taylor Robinson over here in right field. She hasn't let a single ball get by her at this point, and so she's just been fielding really well and making the right throws. It's just been a fact of, just a game of volume for Spanish Fork, who in this inning has just had ample hits.
Yeah, it has been exactly that, just volume. An incredible amount of hits so far here. I've got 5 hits so far in this inning, as it's been a rough one here for Gracie Jensen, and certainly hasn't been helped by the defense with several throwing errors here so far in the inning, as tries to get one inside there to Carroll. And that will be marked down as a ball, but it does move the count here to actually, it looks like they called it a strike. I didn't see any indication from the umpire, but our scoreboard says 1-1, so I'm going to go with it. So 1 ball and 1 strike here on Olivia Carroll.
Well, like I said,
and Carroll rips one. It's going to be off the glove of the shortstop. They do make a throw over to second just to make sure that Archuleta was in fact in, and there's nothing doing there. But it'll be yet another single here for Spanish Fork off the bat of Olivia Carroll, who is again having an incredible season here so far for Spanish Fork.
Now, I mentioned that sometimes the whoever's running the scoreboard back there is kind of making the call before the makes the call before the home plate so that could have been the situation there. But we'll never know, and history will never tell us, because after that they clear the scoreboard on to the next hitter.
They sure do. On to the next one, and the next one is Audrey Overturf, who started things off here in this inning for Spanish Fork. So her second at-bat in inning number 2. She got on a throwing error. She's going to take a healthy cut at one up around her eyeballs for strike 1. So 5 runs across in this inning for Spanish Fork, a big one here in the bottom of the second. They've got a 4-run lead over the Golden Eagles. The 0-1 will be upstairs. The count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, this is the Spanish Fork that we're accustomed to seeing right here.
Yep, they're able to capitalize on some miscues by the Golden Eagles, and then it just comes in droves. The offense just really waking up here. Another bunt situation here. It's going to be close. The play will be made over there at first base as Overturf not quite able to get over there. That will be out number 3, but not before a huge inning here for Spanish Fork. 5 runs coming across for the Lady Dons. 5-1 ball game here after 2. We'll get you inning number 3 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 3 of this one between the Lady Dons and the Golden Eagles. The score is 5-1, a big second inning for Spanish Fork. 5 runs coming across. Just kind of a parade of singles, as you will, for Spanish Fork. They were able to string together 4 straight. Is it 4 straight or even 5 straight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight. 5 straight singles there in the inning. Got a little bit of help from some miscues as well by the Golden Eagles. So a big inning for Spanish Fork, and now they are hoping that Lucy Evans can come out and put up a 0 on the scoreboard and really make it so the momentum fully stays in the Dons' favor.
There's no question in my mind that she can, in fact, do that. We know she can. We've already seen it once this game in 1 inning. I think she'll be able to turn around and do it here again, especially with the kind of momentum that they're playing with. And we know that softball is a game of momentum. So it would not surprise me whatsoever if she's able to put this one away with a 0 up there.
So it's the top of the 3rd here. A strike pumped into Kyla Dunnigan there. The count moves to 1-1. Be the heart of the order here. Oh, my apologies, not the heart of the order. This is getting a little bit ahead of myself here. So actually, this is Brindley Charrington up right now for the Golden Eagles. So Charrington, Bunker, and then Carter up here in this 3rd inning for the Golden Eagles.
Well, Spanish Fork's dugout has a lot to say right now, don't they?
They usually have a lot to say just in general. I love the hype. I absolutely love it.
They need to turn all those softball girls around and say, hey, great season, time to go cheerleading.
For reals, though. I mean, they do an excellent job.
Yeah.
The 2-2 will just barely miss. So the count now 3-2 on Brindley Charrington. Charrington, the catcher for the Golden Eagles, little tapper that, oh man, almost able to make the play there. Excellent effort there by the catcher. That is Carroll for the Dons. That was it's always hard to catch that pop-up for catchers, honestly. I think it's an underrated aspect of the game is a catcher that's able to make good reads on those, because, man, the spin on that can just be brutal.
It absolutely is, and Evans even tempted to come over and try and help make that catch, but Carroll called it. I think that was the right call. It just, like you said, it's really hard to, I mean, it's easy to see where it is, hard to figure out where it's going to end up.
Payoff pitcher to Charrington will be popped up again. Archuleta giving chase, and she's going to snag that. Oh, my goodness.
Right
Elise
up against
Archuleta.
the fence.
Let's go.
There's maybe an assist there by the fence, as a matter of fact, but the catch was made. So
yeah, you get by with a little help from your friends, right? And, sometimes the fence can be your friend. Other times the fence can be your worst enemy.
Yeah, we've seen
that a few times.
Players go heads over heels out of the outfield fence, so there's definitely plenty of that to go around.
That one fouled away by Bryn Bunker, so the count will be 0-1 on her. She's 0 for 1 on the day, struck out in her first at bat. So back to the top of the order here for Maple Mountain with 1 out in the top of the third.
Well, that's going to be common strikeouts that we'll see with as long as Lucy Evans is at play on the mound, and with the way she's been pitching so far, I think we're going to definitely see a lot of that.
Fouled away once again by Bunker. Count moves to 0-2. And they have relied quite a bit on Evans so far this season. Kind of one of 2 Lady Dons that have seen a fair amount of innings so far. The other one being Archuleta, as that one is going to be sent right down the middle. It'll be a nice 1-out single for Bryn Bunker. Evans so far on the season, 32 innings pitched coming into this one, 1.75 ERA. I think you like that. Anything, I mean, really truly anything under 3 is pretty great. If you're under 2, like that's some crazy stuff. And 48 strikeouts in those 32 innings to just 6 walks. Again, you'll also take that 8-to-1 K to walk ratio. Definitely a pretty nice indicator that Lucy Evans knows what she's doing and really has total command of the plate. That one is in there for a strike.
You can kind of see it here on your screens at home, but this is really one of the most scenic places to play softball, baseball in Utah.
This one's sent out into shallow right field. A little bit of a dripper there. She's going to send him over to third. That's going to be a pretty easy play there at third base. And they do get caught sleeping a little bit on it as Carter will make her way over to second on the throw. So it'll be a little bloop single there for McLean Carter. She'll advance over to second, but they do get Bunker thrown out over there at third base. So now 2 outs here in the top of the third.
And the play was made there by another Carter. Jada Carter over in right field. She was able to get in, and that really didn't have that much oomph behind it, that specific hit. So now what just happened?
Sometimes you look away and all of a sudden things just kind of get crazy. As it looks like we're switching things up. I'm guessing that something
could have been a strikeout
to be able to. Donegan didn't even make her way up, and so we're just moving on over to the bottom half of the third inning. And Donegan will be up to start things off for the Golden Eagles in that fourth inning.
Don't blink twice, right?
I don't have an explanation for you. I'm assuming there was probably an interference call of some kind, and so it ended up meaning that McLean Carter ends up getting out on that play. I'm just going to put a little question mark here on my score sheet, but is what is. So the score will stay 5-1. Golden Eagles threatened there, but not able to put anything across. So as we move on over to the bottom half of the third inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm, and MVP Sports.
No, you can really see here. The view that we're looking at right now is over towards, that's going to be kind of over towards Spanish Fork Canyon, but just to the right of that, you have Satellite Mountain. A little bit further to the south, you have Mount Nebo, and then to our left here is Camel's Back, and all the way out to Timpf. You can pretty much see the entire valley from here, and with the snowy peaks, it's just a real picturesque image out here in Spanish Fork today.
Yeah, it is really pretty. I love this time of year because, one, the weather starts heating up, which is just lovely, but also you still have a ton of snow on the mountains, and so it's super sunny. The mountains are capped with beautiful snow. It's just picturesque, and it's really awesome to be able to have that as your backdrop here over here at the sports park, because that's going to be A first pitch ball to Lucy Evans. Again, having a phenomenal day on the bump, but also having a decent day at the plate so far. Is 1 for 1.
And we see Jensen kind of shake out her hand for a second there, and you definitely don't want to. And that one looked like he got in there. Collison made. Oh no, it is. Excuse me. So strike there. You definitely don't want to start out this inning like you kind of ended the last inning. So I think she's just really taking her time, making sure that she's really methodical and kind of thinks out every pitch. And honestly, sometimes you just got to slow the game down a little.
The 1-1 is laced out into right field. The play is going to be made out there. Nice snag.
That's Robinson.
By Robinson. Yeah. Can confirm that it is in fact Taylor Robinson.
As long as
playing
Robinson
short
is 10.
is Kayla Dunnigan, so we are all synced up. All the things are working the way that they should. So it'll be out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as Evans lines one over to Robinson for out number 1. It'll bring up number 8 hitter in the lineup, Emery Pintar. She will be followed by Leah Higginson. Pintar struck out in her first at-bat in the 2nd inning, so 0 for 1 on the day. She takes a first pitch ball, so 1-0 count on the Spanish Fork third baseman.
Now we've already seen this saga play out and seen what Spanish Fork can do with 1 out on the board as they turn around and do right here. They had that 1 out and then they went for 5 singles in a row, and now the score is what it is. It's 5-1, so definitely don't count them out and don't ever believe that the momentum's going the other way until the inning's over.
Absolutely. Again, the key to really good offenses is your approach at the plate once there are strikes on the once there are outs on the scoreboard. The truly great offenses just say, you know what, 1 out, 2 out, who cares? Just get up there and put some good contact on it, which that was some decent contact there. It'll be fouled away by Higginson.
Yeah, the true mark of a great player is being able to play in the moment, right?
Yep, just don't think too hard about what's happening. Just play in the moment and go with the situation that's in front of you, and don't think too hard about it. Just play and react to what's happening.
I mean, it can also be the mark of a great player if you're, 7'1" and
sure. I mean, yeah,
have a 8-foot wingspan, and no, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but obviously there are some physical advantages to sports. But like I said, playing in the moment is definitely not a stat that you can necessarily keep track of. But if it was, I'm sure that it would be the trademark of almost every great player throughout every sport.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, Coach, I mean, there is a physical aspect to all sports that's just, if you're naturally gifted, it's just there. But I'm also of the opinion that there are some people that are almost just as naturally gifted in their mind. Yeah. They just are able to lock in, able to be clutch, able to focus in on when they need to focus. And so there is a big mental aspect to any sport. And you've got to either have it or you've got to develop it. And a lot of these players have done both. They have it, and then they've further honed it in over the years. Count moves to 2-2 here on Leah Higginson. 0 for 1 on the day. She grounded. Well, she hit into a fielder's choice and then ended up scoring in that 2nd inning. She hit one that ended up did a suicide squeeze that didn't end up working out for Spanish Fork. The 2-2 a little bit high, and now it'll be a full count on the Lady Dons center fielder. A beautiful day here at Don Andrews Field. Just absolutely enjoying this beautiful spring weather. Enjoying a beautiful game of softball here on Spanish Fork 17. 4-run lead for the Lady Dons. Full count pitch is rocked out into left field. It'll be a one-hopper up to the fence. And that's going to be a 2-jacks double for Leah Higginson. Excellent contact. That's the best hit ball so far of the day for Spanish Fork.
So far, yeah, and it's surprising given what the score is that's the best hit ball, but definitely had a lot of oomph behind it, just giving it a tiny bit more, and it came right up against the top of the outfield fence there. So, you know what I just realized? I'm here with Andrew watching the Dons at Don Andrew
field.
Let's go. Yes. all sorts of name connections here. So that one is going to go high and outside to Jade Romero. So count 1-0.
Well, not only that name connection, but there's also 4 Carters playing today. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there are in fact 4 Carters. Which that is pretty crazy to me as well.
You have a 1 in 5 chance of being a Carter if you're on the field at this time.
Pretty much. That one is going to be fouled away.
Oh, what a catch.
And yeah, what a catch is correct there. Dang, great play over there. That's the third baseman there for the Golden Eagles, Groneman, getting over there right up against the fence. And again, that's a big one for the Golden Eagles because Romero is a very dangerous hitter, so getting her to pop one up and be able to get the out there is a big one.
Yeah, that's big time too. She said, here's a taste of your own medicine, because we saw what Archuleta did in the top of the inning, where she made that trap against the fence over here against the right fence wall, and she says, hey, I can do that on this side. The wind is starting to, and I'm sure you guys can hear it at home and wherever you're watching, the wind is starting to pick up a little bit here. It shouldn't be that big of a factor yet, but we know that the wind can get up to gale force coming out of Spanish Fork Canyon.
Little dribbler over to the shortstop. The play will be made as the Golden Eagles are able to get out of the inning with a 0 on the scoreboard. Dons threatened with 2 runners on. They get stranded. 5-1 ball game here. We'll get you inning number 4 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 4 between the rivals, the Spanish Fork Lady Dons and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. So far, this game tilting mostly towards the Lady Dons. The score is 5-1. They had a huge 5-run inning in the second inning. Goose eggs on both sides here in the third inning, so things may be starting to calm down a little bit for both teams. Been very impressed with Lucy Evans on the mound here so far for the Lady Dons. Has gone through 3 innings, really just truly has only allowed just the one big hit, a solo home run by Kyla Dunnigan in inning number 1. Otherwise has really kept the Golden Eagles in check. Only has allowed 1 other hit and walked 1 batter, has struck out 3. Just has had a very nice game on the bump here so far for Spanish Fork.
And on the flip side of that coin, you have Gracie Jensen, who's the pitcher for the Golden Eagles, and she struggled a bit today, but that last inning she definitely had a lot of help from her fielders, who were able to make a lot of big-time plays and a lot of great catches, especially third baseman over there, Groneman. And so we'll see what they're able to do here from the behind the plate in this inning.
Evans starting things off here against Kyla Dunnigan, who hit that solo home run in the first inning. So it's the heart of the order here for the Golden Eagles, and that just might be a twofer for Dunnigan. It just finds its way up and over the left field fence. Once again, a 2-home run day for Kyla Dunnigan.
Hey, you think she's feeling good right now?
Yeah, that's when you know you're locked in. 2 at-bats, 2 solo home runs for Kyla Dunnigan. The score now moves to 5-2 after the Golden Eagles shortstop rips yet another one over that left field fence.
Good time for a mound meeting to say, hey, how do we take care of her, specifically
because she's really been the only one that's done real damage here so far in this game for the Golden Eagles, but it has been damage. Again, 2 that have just kind of found their way just a little bit over that left field fence. You get bonus points for it being,
10 feet over.
Don't matter as long as it gets over. This ain't this.
Well, it's starting to feel.
For Dunnigan, it's yes. Count 1-0. Gracie Jensen on the day. The first Archuleta. That will bring her down just a tick from that, 818 mark that she had coming into coming into the game. Still just absolutely crazy. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I can't handle that she was batting .818 coming into this game.
Well, hey, listen, there's ebbs and flows in this sport.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it especially has a lot to do with the matchup. She's had a lot of pretty good preseason matchups. And
this one, a little tapper that ends up getting caught by the shortstop. Good play over there. Then the ball kind of gets a little bit away from her, but nothing doing there.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I said ooh, and but you know, good play by Romero over there. And maybe she just needs to clean that up next time. It's a grounder over to on that line. So I'm sure she will.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just a different mindset. You know, you got the line ball, you catch it, you're like, okay, now I just got to get rid of it. Oh, airmail it down to the outfield. Just got to think about it for next time. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Again, another solo home run for Kyla Dunnigan, so big day for her. Otherwise, the Golden Eagles somewhat silent here against Evans. Tries to get the rise ball there, but ends up rising just a little bit too much there on Groneman for ball 1. 1-1 count on the Golden Eagles third baseman. Groneman's 0 for 1 on the day, grounded to third in her first at bat. That will be a strike into her as the count will now move to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Some players make the big impact on one or the other side of, you know, great players will make the impact on either side on offense or defense as, oh man, there's a lot of ump behind that one as it's fouled over the left field wall and out of play. But, you know, we've seen grown men do a lot of great things defensively so far, and, you know, that hasn't exactly translated over to the offensive side of things. But as long as you can get your team through the inning, sometimes that's the most important thing.
Tapper finds his way into the glove of Evans. She'll send it over to Archuleta for out number 2.
She can do it all, can't she?
She sure can. Getting the outs via the strikeout, getting outs via the glove, and getting a little bit of help again from the defense as well. Really, other than against Dunnigan, she has really done a nice job of handling pretty much every batter here in this Golden Eagle lineup. We'll bring up Lydia Tibbles now for Maple Mountain. She took a walk in her first plate appearance in the second inning, ended up getting stranded. It will just barely miss there for ball 1.
That's ball 2.
That is ball 2. Sometimes it just kind of comes at you fast and furious. So 2-0 count here on Lydia Tibbles.
That's why you have me to talk about the weather and every now and then. You're not wrong often, but when you are.
No, but when I am, it's needed correction. So I appreciate it. Count 3-0 now on Tibbles. 5-2 ball game here in the top of the 4th. Just a 3-run lead now for the Lady Dons after another solo home run by Dunnigan. That will be a tick inside, and that is going to be the second walk of the day issued by Evans, and it is issued to the exact same batter, Tibbles, now with her second walk of the day.
I'm not sure what exactly she just got handed. We all saw that on the camera. Maybe she just took her lucky charm, her lucky rabbit's foot, and stuck it in her back pocket.
I mean, yeah.
Now our producer's telling us that every time a batter gets to first base, they get something, and he's trying to figure out what it is. We don't know so far.
Some kind of lucky charm of some kind or something, just a little reward. Little lazy fly ball out to center field. The play will be made out there by Higginson. That will be the end of the 4th inning. So a runner on that's stranded, but also a solo home run hit once again by Kyla Dunnigan, her second home run of the day. Moves the score now to 5-2, a 3-run lead for the Lady Dons of the Golden Eagles. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 4th inning, it gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, read those off.
We got MVP Sports, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm. I kind of want to figure out what it is.
Yeah, that would definitely be something to do a little bit of research on. Maybe we find a way to go talk to some of the coaches post game and just kind of see. They've talked about it maybe being like candy or something, but we never see them like, unwrapping anything, putting something in their mouth or anything like that. So it feels like it's like something that's like a little object of some kind. And I like it. I like the idea of reinforcing, hey, you're on base. You've done your job to be able to help us score some runs.
You know what it probably is? It's like a little bead or something, and they have a bracelet that's like the saga of all their runs throughout the season that they just string the beads onto.
That feels
when you get into the
accurate.
postseason, they go from colored beads to golden beads or silver beads, and then they've been to the postseason a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these girls have 6-foot-long bracelets, if that is what it is, with 30 golden beads on them.
Yeah, that would be.
That's my
guess.
At
that point, that's like an armband.
Yeah. Just wrap it around your wrist 6 times.
Wrap it around a couple times, and pretty crazy stuff. So we are at the kind of heart of the order here for Spanish Fork. Got Alice Archuleta up the cleanup hitter. So it'll be Archuleta, Carroll, and Overturf due up here in this 4th inning for Spanish Fork. And that is not... Oh, again, getting a little bit ahead of myself. Archuleta also bats left-handed, so I just kind of assumed it was her. It's still Jada Carter, so it is 3, 4, 5. Carter, Archuleta, and Carroll due up here in inning number 4. I had a 3 written down indicating that Carter had gotten up in that last inning, but she did not. That one hit out into out into left field, and the play will be made out there for out number 1. Good read over there by Chelsea Carter. Now it brings up the cleanup hitter, Archuleta. Archuleta on the day is 1 for 2. Got hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance, then roped a single in that 2nd inning. Again, as part of that string of 5 straight hits there for Spanish Fork.
I just want to point out something here, and I'm just reading this online. There is a school in Philadelphia called Neshoba Central, and they have 7 back-to-back softball state championships, and that is the longest recorded streak of back-to-back state championships in the nation. And,
Dang.
And the only reason I bring that up is because Spanish Fork, they have a ways to go, but not
terrible.
Not that far.
Already got 3 in a row. It's pretty good.
I don't think there's any danger of jinxing it this early in the season. They're not going to turn around and say, "Hey, what did that one guy say back in April?" Or we're not even in April yet.
Yeah, not even in April yet. It's giving chase out there, but it'll land harmlessly out there in foul territory and move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And also for that matter, 7 straight is a bit of a ways. They're kind of almost halfway there, with 3. So,
yeah, I feel like they're on a pretty good track here.
Towards
their 4th, and they've really done just an excellent job of building up a very strong program out here in Spanish Fork. Now it says here that Vanderbilt Catholic in Louisiana had won 112 games in a row, making it the longest win streak of any softball high school team.
That
they might win 10 state championships in a row, but that's still going to be hard to do for any team.
Yeah, that's pretty stinking impressive. That's just a lot of wins all at once. This count moves the full here on Archuleta. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning, 5-2 ball game, 3-run lead for the Lady Dons over the Golden Eagles.
All right.
Jensen's payoff pitch. Rings up Archuleta for strike 3.
And she thought she was taking the walk.
She sure did.
Definitely thought something different or saw something different. Now, I can't tell if somebody's playing with our camera in the outfield or what exactly it is, but the camera that's showing the scoreboard keeps bouncing every now and then. It's got to be just the wind because it's moved probably a good 6 inches in the last few minutes here.
Yeah, getting a little bit of motion there, kind of fun.
Yeah.
3rd strikeout of the day for Gracie Jensen. And it's 2 outs now here in the 4th inning. Brings up Olivia Carroll, the Dons catcher. 1 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a single. Count 1-0 on her. Gonna hit that one foul. It'll be kind of fouled into her foot a little bit there, so evens up the count at 1-1. Again, can't say it enough, but just an absolutely beautiful day here at Don Andrews Field at the Sports Park in Spanish Fork. Being able to enjoy a nice ball game here between crosstown rivals and just take in the beautiful weather, take in the beautiful scene here. Ooh. Gets a little piece of that one. Probably really didn't have much business swinging at that one, but able to at least do something with it. So it moves the count to 1-2.
Well, if you can cut it across the eyes like that, it's about as effective as a bunt, but the only difference is where a bunt, you're already leaning into the run. With that one, you have to turn your momentum all the way around over your shoulder and then take off. Yeah, certainly not advantageous in that way, as Carroll will watch that one go outside and eat up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carroll with 5 home runs on the season leads the Dons in home runs as well as RBIs. The 2-2 from Jensen is smoked, but quite foul, so she'll stay alive here with the count 2-2. Decent bit out in front of that pitch. Jensen, after allowing a big inning in the second inning, has kind of calmed things down and settled into this game a little bit better. Put up a 0 in inning number 3 and already 2 outs here in this 4th inning, and just needing to put Carroll away with 1 more strike to get out of this one in a 1-2-3 fashion. But staring down a full count. And it is in there for strike 3. So 2 consecutive strikeouts, moving her to 4 strikeouts on the day. Jensen puts up another 0 on the scoreboard. Still a 5-2 ball game after 4 innings. We'll get you inning number 5 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 5 of this one between the Lady Dons and the Golden Eagles. And we are over here at Don Andrews Field, really just enjoying a beautiful day over here at the sports park. It's a 5-2 ball game, a 3-run lead for the Golden Eagles. All 5 of those runs coming across for the Lady Dons. My apologies, the Lady Dons in the lead, not the Golden Eagles. The Lady Dons with the lead, 3-run lead. All 5 of them coming in the second inning. And for the Golden Eagles, it's just been the Kyla Dunnigan show. She's got 2 solo home runs in this game.
She does, and I kind of feel like that 4th inning just took the air out of everything. Spanish Fork was coming off a really, really strong second inning, and since then things have just quieted down a lot. Like you said, another solo home run, and I just feel like if there's any time to turn this game around, it's going to be right now for Maple Mountain. And they're not coming off any offensive momentum per se, other than the 2 solo home runs, but I just feel like that defensive momentum could carry over in the way they fielded the last 2 innings.
Yeah, this certainly feels like a big moment here for the Golden Eagles if they can kind of string things together and make their way back into this game. That one is popped up and over towards the stands for strike 1 to Taylor Robinson. Robinson 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the second inning. It will be Robinson, Charrington, and Bunker due up here in inning number 5 for Maple Mountain. Getting a little bit of wind here today that you've kind of heard in and out. It's kind of blowing in, and so it's not really helping Not really helping any of the hitters anyway.
You see Carroll right there. That pitch just a second ago was one of the ones that she would have swung at last inning. High and by the eyes, but good. Just a good eye there, able to hold the bat and just wait for the right pitch to come her way.
So 3 balls now, 3-1 count on Taylor Robinson. The 3-1 will be low. That is the 3rd walk issued in this game for Lucy Evans. Kind of uncharacteristic of her. Again, she only came into this having only walked.
Was it 5?
6. She walked 6 batters in her 32 other innings that she's pitched so far on the season. So again, have been sitting at about an 8-1 K to walk ratios. That one's going to be a little high. Center fielder is going to make the throw into third, though, just to make sure that the runner holds over there at second base.
Good hit. Everyone played in. They thought it was going to be a bunch. She was able to pull back and rip that one off. And really the right play to be able to advance the runner.
Runner advances. So in scoring position with no outs here in the 5th inning. Little dribbler right down that first base line and ends up just kind of dying there. That's well placed there by Brinley Charrington, as that'll go down as a bunt single for her, and it's also going to advance Robinson over to third.
Do you think Carroll could have made the throw over in time to Archuleta? I mean, she definitely made the judgment call and decided she couldn't, but from my perspective, it looked like she could have.
But I think the issue was that Charrington was in a spot that in order to make the throw accurately, she would have had to essentially throw it through Charrington.
Maybe you're right.
And so it's could I make the throw? Yes, but I'm more likely to just hit her. Yeah, and then you've got the issue of, if it bounces off of her, then does it bounce away enough that Robinson is able to score potentially on the play? So I think that's a smart job of being but smarter to just go ahead and make it a force out over there at second base and give yourself some options here.
I see what you're saying, but I also think that Archuleta was, playing inside the line enough that she could have gotten over there. But I'm not in the heat of the moment, so I can't make that call from over here on the right field sideline or the right field behind the right field fence. So
again, we love our view over here, but it's
we do. Speak for yourself.
I'm just trying to be nice to, I love that we have a view.
Yeah, that's true.
That was going to be sent out into left field. The catch will be made. Nice throw in to make sure that ends up not being a sacrifice fly. So they do get Bunker to fly out to left field for out number 1.
Well, folks, appreciate while you got it, because in a few years here, it's going to be a bunch of AI robots making your, calling your games for you. They'll just be watching on some screen, doing in-the-moment analytics that are far advanced of anything we could do here, but you'll miss the human aspect, I'm telling you.
The left fielder ran 12.7 feet.
They'll be better than that. Come on, they're already better than that. Haven't you heard Siri? You can make her a Australian lady or a British man or pretty much anything you want. Can I say that on here?
I don't know. I assume it's probably okay? ? This one's going to be popped up in a place where Pintar can get to it. She'll make the play, and that will be out number 2.
So a little help from all the fielders here surrounding Evans. It was kind of her game in the first couple of innings, but now she's just depending on the she's got a lot of dependable people surrounding her in the infield and in the outfield, and we've seen that so far this inning.
Yeah, it's again was really in cruise control other than against Kyla Dunnigan. Now starting to see a few chinks here and there. Again, 3 walks, kind of uncharacteristic for her. Also allowing a single here in this inning to Charrington.
And they'll go ahead and just take the walk there.
Yeah, they award the intentional walk there to Dunnigan because,
we all know
you
why.
hit 2 home runs, and, we're just going to put you on first base.
Dunnigan will take it.
Yeah, absolutely, because it now brings up a bases-loaded situation here for Maple Mountain. Really can get themselves right back in this ballgame with a nice base hit off the bat here of Gracie Jensen. She will watch that one in for a ball.
Yeah, despite everything Maple Mountain is, and I said this before about them, they are not going away.
No, they sure aren't. They've stayed right within striking distance this entire game. Really didn't, again, nice job by Jensen to not let this game get away from her on the bump. Again, has put up 2 straight zeros after that big 5-run inning for the Lady Dons, and so has done well to battle through here and still make this a pretty tight ball game.
And right there, even with the excellent framing by Carroll, they're going to call a ball. And they are quite literally within striking distance, and they could have, even with the right hit here, they could actually take the lead. So just a pretty tense moment for Spanish Fork, and you definitely hear the Golden Eagles dugout coming alive.
And definitely chirping out there, which makes a lot of sense. Again, feeling like things are starting to move in their favor. Robinson at third, Charrington at second, and Dunnigan at first base. A hit out into shallow left field. It will get beyond the glove of the diving left fielder. They do throw it in and prevent a 3rd run from scoring, but it will be a 2-run single for Gracie Jensen, and this ball game is now super close. Dunnigan will make her way over to third. It will be Robinson and Charrington that will score, and the score is now 5-4. Just a 1-run lead now for the Lady Dons.
They're going to bring in a pinch runner. I believe that's number 30 over there for Maple Mountain. I don't know that off the top of my head, but we'll get it for you real quick here.
Number 30 is Bella Eckenstam, coming in to run for her pitcher, Gracie Jensen.
Ooh, solid hit there out to left field, and it looks like it'll just barely be a foul.
Yeah, that's a tough break if you're a Golden Eagles fan, and swipe the sweat off the brow moment there for the Dons.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, obviously they've been scathed. They're just hoping to leave this inning without the score flipping.
Yeah, hoping to be able to keep the lead intact.
Yeah. Thank you.
So it's Groneman that's up now for the Golden Eagles. She's got a 1-1 count on her, 0 for 2 on the day. A couple ground outs, 1 to third and 1 right back to the pitcher. So watch one that'll be just a tick inside for ball 2. So now a 2-1 count on the Golden Eagles third baseman. 2-run single off the bat of Gracie Jensen to cut this thing down to just a 1-run lead for the Lady Dons. Evans hoping to kind of staunch the bleeding here a little bit for Spanish Fork. That one will be low, and it'll move the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 to Groneman is popped up. It'll be out beyond the backstop. It'll move the count now to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Big moment here for both teams.
Yeah, runners on the corners here, 2 outs. Evans really just needing to find a way to get either one more strike or something that can be played out in the field, and she is going to get her 4th strikeout of the day. That comes at a big moment there as she strands the runners over there at first and third. 2 runs going across on the RBI single by Gracie Jensen, so the score now 5-4, just a 1-run lead for the Dons now over the Golden Eagles. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 5th inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's 2 Jack's Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and MVP Sports. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It's been a fun ball game. We hope that you've been enjoying it on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Make sure to click that subscribe button and join the Spanish Fork 17 family. Get all the great content that we have there on the YouTube page. Again, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Along with that, we do have, we're going to be doing another baseball game for you here next week. That game will be the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles up against the Bountiful Red Hawks. That game will be on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. We're excited to get you coverage of that one. Baseball will be starting region play for them is going to be at the beginning of April, starting that second week of April. And so still got a couple more non-region matchups to kind of get all tuned up and ready. But I'm excited for Region 8 play for baseball. It's going to be a fun one. Again, Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork have some pretty decent squads. Maple Mountain in particular has looked really great in the couple games that I've seen them so far. I'm always impressed with Chase Johnston, just an absolutely great pitcher for the Golden Eagles, and so I think that they've got a real good chance to make some noise here this season, as that one is going to be a little bit low and inside there for ball one to...
we had the opportunity to watch them down at the, I'm going to forget the name of the stadium, but down in southern Utah, beautiful St. George, where they win 2-2 on the weekend. If I remember right, somebody.
Someone chirped at us about it, and they actually went 3-1 down there.
Yeah, there I go, messing it up again. Okay.
And they did even better this past weekend. So again, Maple Mountain really just has had a really strong start to the season. Again, they played in the Dixie Sunshine Classic.
Thank you. I was thinking Kona Ice, but that was
the
up
Kona
the hill
Ice
at,
was
for
Spanish Fork. This count is 0-2 on Audrey Overturf. 0-2 on the day. Overturf, Evans, and Pintar do appear in this inning. She'll watch that one in 4 balls. So now the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And we don't have the overlay as far as I can tell right now with the scoreboard here on the screen. But and there it comes. Just as quick as you can snap or blink, it's right back at you.
You know, sometimes it's just funny that way. The 1-2 from Jensen will be a little slapper that will be collected, and it'll be another one that gets away. As that's it's been an unfortunate thing here for the Golden Eagles, as the Dons have been able to capitalize on quite a few throwing errors over there towards first base.
And I got to point out that is not the fault of Cadence Henry over there at first.
No.
She's been playing just fine. It's mostly been the throws that have been made in her direction, overhead, wide, left. I mean, you name it, she's had it. So, she's probably doing a fine job over there. It just has to do with making the right read and making the timely throw and an accurate throw more than anything at this point.
And Evans is going to get hit by that one, so it's going to be 2 quick runners here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. First and second base now after Evans gets hit by a pitch, and it's going to bring up number 8 hitter Emery Pintar. 1 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a single so far to her name. Third at bat here in inning number 5.
They're going to go ahead and bring in pinch runner for Spanish Fork number 7.
Definitely makes sense. Again, wanting to preserve
the pitchers.
That's Bailey Smith over there, pinch running for Evans.
Yeah, and that's just a great opportunity. It's a good bunt is popped up there.
Oh, and that was almost a pretty easy double play there. Nice job by
Evans
Bailey.
To get back on
Smith
base.
To just
or Smith, excuse me.
Smith to just make her way back.
And that kind of just highlights the value of a good pinch runner, being able to make a good read there. And, it's just a good opportunity for some of the younger classmen who don't get in the game as much, behind the mound or in the field, and just give them an opportunity to come out and kind of prove themselves and show what they can do running the plate. So, and now just behind us just a second ago, it looked like Archuleta
was getting warmed up just in case. Things get a little bit crazy here near the kind of the end of the game. Want to be able to give themselves another option. Archuleta being kind of the second main pitcher on staff here for the Lady Dons this season. So getting her a few reps in just in case they do need her later on in the game. Roped down the third base line. Excellent hit, and that's going to load the bases up here for Spanish Fork. Nice rip there by Leah Higginson. That's her second hit of the day. She had a double in her last at bat, one hopped the fence, so making nice hard contact today.
Yeah, and put Spanish Fork in a really prime situation here with 1 out, bases loaded. They could turn this game around really quick, and we've seen them do this before. You kind of give them an inch and they take it a mile.
So hopefully they're able to turn this inning into something big, and everything so far would indicate that that will be the case.
And there are some big bats coming up now as the top of the order is back up for Spanish Fork. Jade Romero up for the Lady Dons. 1 for 3 on the day, a line out, a single, and a pop-up. Did score in that second inning. Again, that big 5-run second inning for Spanish Fork. Took the first pitch for a ball. Jensen's second pitch.
Ooh.
It's going to just barely miss. This count will move to 2-0.
You said just barely. Just barely.
Just barely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he could have definitely called that one either way.
Certainly could have. The 2-0 does clip the strike zone, so the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike on the Spanish Fork shortstop. Tatum Hall due up next here for the Lady Dons, 2 for 3 on the day.
And Hall is one of
Romero's going to send one out into right field. That's going to one-hop the fence. It's going to be a ground rule double for her. She's still just cruising. Man, if that thing hadn't popped over, she probably would have had a triple there.
She didn't even know, yeah. She
no,
lowered
she didn't.
Ahead
she
and
was just like
charging.
going, which
yeah.
I love that. I love batters that don't even care. They're just like, I'm just going to run as hard as possible.
Yeah, she's one of the, and I'm going to make sure I'm getting this right, one of the few seniors on the team. You have Archuleta, Carroll, and Evans, who we've mentioned several times. And then, let's see, yeah, Pinter and Hall. That's it. So pretty heavy as far as the upperclassmen go, and they're going to definitely be graduating a lot of talent. So the challenge will really be probably after this season, seeing what they can do with some of their younger classmen and junior talent coming up.
Yeah, and again, like they graduated quite a few as well from last year. Obviously, they're the biggest contributor they're mostly missing out on is Avery Sapp. She was just phenomenal her entire time here for the Lady Dons and was so consistent on the bump. Like every time Avery Sapp had the ball on the mound, you knew that Spanish Fork had a chance to win against anybody.
Yep.
And she proved it throughout her years here. Again, was a big part of why Spanish Fork has gone back to back so far here with state championships, winning those 3 in a row. So you miss a player like that, but again, to still have players like Romero, Hall, Archuleta, Carroll, Evans that are still big contributors here on this team, it's really nice. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll see who the next crop of big Lady Don stars are going to be here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, you mentioned Romero. She's a junior.
And Romero's a junior, so they do have her for another year.
They have Higginson out in center field.
Higginson in center field. Yeah, she'll probably be.
Or is she a freshman? No, she's a sophomore. Higginson. Let's see. I'm going to get this right. Now, either way, they still got her for a little while.
At least 2 more years. Yeah, let's take a quick gander at that roster.
I must be partially blind because there she is. Yeah, she's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
So they still got her for a little
who's
bit.
Playing as well. Overturf is a sophomore.
Yep. So they definitely got a little bit more talent stacked up behind this heavy crop of seniors, but the biggest thing will just be, you can't focus on next year, just like we talked about earlier, live within the moment. And they've definitely seemed to be doing that so far this season. As like we mentioned earlier, they're on a 6-2 start to the season with some really hitter-heavy matchups. And yeah, they're definitely impressing so far in this game with a 3-point lead. As it looks like they're going to go ahead and make a change up on the mound.
There definitely is a change. They've brought in the big hitter in the lineup. They brought
Makes
in
sense. Yeah.
the shortstop. So it's Kyla Dunnigan now on the bump here for the Golden Eagles. She will come again in relief here of Gracie Jensen, who fought through a really hard second inning. 5 runs coming across there. Now 2 runs coming across here in this 5th inning. But mixed in there were a couple of nice innings there. Again, was able to go 2 scoreless there in the 3rd and the 4th inning. So pretty solid appearance from Gracie Jensen. Again, she didn't exactly get a ton of help at times from her defense either. So, again, and this is a very hard Lady Dons lineup to have to go against. So, comes out of the game here with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So, she'll get through 4 and a 3rd, and they will bring in Kyla Dunnigan now to.
And who they're putting over there at shortstop, I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I, as of right now, can't really tell either.
We'll figure out for you, though.
We will figure it out. We'll get you that at some point, but just know that.
And they are keeping Jensen in the game. She's just moving on over to first base. So it could be maybe they just swap. We'll figure it out. We'll get it all straightened out and then let you know when we do.
So Jensen over there at first. And the play will be made for out number 2, because they do get Hall to ground out over there for the second out.
And then shortstop, let's see, who's number 7 is Tibbles. So they've moved their second baseman over to, now I'm all turned around. Oh, that's right.
Okay,
yeah,
so
they moved Tibbles over to shortstop.
Number 24 is Bunker. So she was the designated player. She now comes into the game as the second baseman. They move the original second baseman, number 7, Lydia Tibbles, over to short. Gracie Jensen moves off the bump and comes over to first. And then
Donegan goes out.
Donegan goes over to pitch. And the original first baseman is Cadence Henry. She was also designated as the flex player in this one, and so she flexes out of the game.
That's a very nice way to put it.
Yes.
A utility player who we can utilize in the dugout, which actually we just talked about earlier. The players in the dugout are still very much a part of this game.
They're absolutely crushing it there.
They're vocal and have really helped with the momentum that the Lady Dons, and then on the other side, especially the Golden Eagles, it feels like have appreciated.
Pitch is going to be high. It'll move the count now to 3-1 on Jada Carter. Carter is 1 for 3 on the day, an RBI single in the second inning, and then a couple of flyouts over to left field. This one going to be laced just down that third base line, but a tick foul.
Great contact, and just a tick foul. I mean, I think almost everyone thought that. Everyone looked at the ump and said, "Hey, are we playing this or what?"
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It's definitely hard to tell from this angle, but we'll just take his word on it and not give him too much grievance.
So Romero over there at third, as Higginson did score on the ground out there, on the, my apologies, on the pop-up by, no, the ground out by Hall. So it is 8-4, and then you just saw that Carter took the walk there. That is the first, that's the first Lady Don that's taking a walk here in this game.
It's a different call, same result. Ends up getting on base.
Runners on the corners, little smack shot out into shallow left field. That is going to get past the left fielder. Extra bases for Alice Archuleta.
No, it looks like Carter may have actually tripped out there. She was going to make a great play on that, but just an unfortunate happening, and but she'll shake it off, and I'm sure make some big plays later on in the game.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 2-run, 2-jacks double there by Alice Archuleta, and the score will now be 10-4. So now a 6-run lead. So kind of re-expanding out that lead now is Spanish Fork.
I'd be surprised if they're going to go ahead and opt to keep Archuleta out there running, but just in the situation where she might be relieving in just a bit here. We don't know for sure yet, but
with this much of a cushion, I imagine that they'll probably send Evans back out. But I mean, at some point, it's certainly a possibility that if things get a little bit away and this game gets tighter again, that Archuleta will find her way out onto the bump, as that one is fouled away by Olivia Carroll. So the count will now be 0-1 on her. Carroll, 1 for 3 on the day. She hit a single in the second, then is struck out in her other 2 at-bats. So another big inning for Spanish Fork once again. 5 runs in the second, now 5 runs in the fifth.
That's been the real story of this game, just a game of momentum and in single innings. The second and the fifth you mentioned there, that's where all their scores have come from. They haven't been able to put anything together outside of that. And then Maple Mountain, on the flip side of that coin, they've been kind of just like the slow, grueling chip away where they can. So
This one smacked out into left field. It's kind of carrying. It eventually will be caught out there in left. Good play made by Carter. That will end the 5th inning as 5 more runs across here for Spanish Fork. The score is now 10-4. We'll get you inning number 6 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. We've got the Spanish Fork Lady Dons up against the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles in a beautiful afternoon game here at Don Andrews Field. That's the sports park in Spanish Fork. It's been a kind of interesting ball game here, as Coach T was just mentioning. It's been a huge couple of innings for Spanish Fork really in this game. 5 runs in the second inning and then 5 runs that just scored here in the bottom half of the 5th to give them 10 runs and give them a 6-run lead over the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. On the other side of things for the Golden Eagles, it was a solo home run by Donegan in the first inning, another solo home run by Donegan in the 4th inning, and then they got 2 runs across on a 2 RBI single by Gracie Jensen in the last inning. But where it's been in bunches for Spanish Fork, it's been just kind of quick, methodical stuff for Maple Mountain. That's going to be a nice play made over there by Pintar for out number 1.
Pintar to Archuleta connection, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That may be one of the things that Maple Mountain's just been missing on this game. They've had so many runs scored off of errors played over to first base. And Spanish Fork, I think, just did a good job of showing their superiority in that sense there by just making an excellent play just in the nick of time.
Well, that will squirt foul, so it'll be strike 1 on Chelsea Carter. Carter 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a flyout in the 2nd inning and the 4th inning. She will be followed by Taylor Robinson, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Lucy Evans in for Spanish Fork still, as that pitch will, I think, just barely miss for ball 1. Still a very animated dugout for the Golden Eagles, as that one is going to be smoked out into left field, but it'll be well out of play. It'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They're relentless over there in that dugout.
They really are.
Never a dull moment.
No, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy the atmosphere. Again, when you're up against rivals, it just kind of adds a little bit of extra juice. And, again, also just girls sports in general just does a better job of bringing the vibe and bringing the energy, as that one's going to be popped up. And play will be made for out number 2.
Yeah, good heads-up play there by Carol. She let one of those get away from her earlier in the game, and of course it was in a different position, but she's able to get eyes on that one there and just make the... I mean, it seems like an easy catch, but I shouldn't say the easy catch, because they never really are when you're behind the plate like that, and you have so much backspin off of them when they come off the top of the bat like that. So just a good heads-up play to be able to make that catch back there.
2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th inning, and a first pitch that will miss upstairs to Taylor Robinson. Again, 0 for 1 on the day. She took a walk in her last plate appearance, then struck out in her first at-bat in the 2nd inning. A dribbler up the middle, collected and thrown on over to first by Jade Romero, and that will be out number 3. 1-2-3 inning here for Lucy Evans. Nice bounce back after giving up 2 runs in the previous inning, so it will stay 10-4 here after the 1-2-3 inning for the Golden Eagles. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 6th inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Go ahead and do that for us, Coach T.
We'd like to thank MVP Sports, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson, State Farm. You guys are great, and we'd like to thank our viewers at home for being with us today. Man, if I was at home, I'd probably just take my phone, watch this on YouTube, and head on outside because as nice as on your couch, it's probably a little bit nicer out here. The weather's just near perfect. So.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We were talking a little bit earlier about how the weather in St. George was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was like insane, like sun, or it was insane wind. Maybe sometimes it was both. But right now this is just pleasant. Like a little bit of wind, but not bad. And then the sun's just in just a beautiful place. Sitting here at mid-high 50s most likely. It's idyllic. Truly idyllic.
Idyllic.
Yes.
Again, Andrew with the big words.
The big words. I get them out of my thesaurus,
That's actually
do what
his favorite pastime is to just read a thesaurus, to split it open to any page.
Yeah, absolutely. America's favorite pastime is baseball, but Andrew's favorite pastime is whipping out the anemone, the thesaurus, and saying all the big crazy words.
Okay, I take it all back after that little blunder. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was right there.
That was a Finding Nemo reference. I had to
No. I know it is. I'm not sure what that
over my
was.
Tongue. So first pitch ball to Audrey Overturf. It'll be Overturf, Evans, and Pintar due up here in the bottom of the 6th for Spanish Fork. A 1-for-3 day at the plate for Overturf. So watch pitch go low and inside. So now the count moves to 2-0. She has scored twice in this game. She got on in the second inning on an error, and then scored as part of the big, 5-run inning in the second, and also the 5-run inning in the 5th.
Well, you said 2-0, and I believe it is 2-0 with the scoreboard. And there they go.
They'll get there. Kind of a little half-hearted chop there. At that particular pitch to move the count to 2-1. She'll punch one that will hop over to the shortstop, and she will be safe against some nice wheels for the Spanish Fork left fielder. So she'll get on an infield single.
Yeah, that was really impressive. Any lesser of a player may have just given up on that when, obviously it was grounded in great position to be able to make a play, and she just hustled on over there. So great heads-up hustle play by Audrey Overturf.
Yep. That one will be a little bit low to Evans. Evans 1 for 2 on the day. A single in the first, lined out to right in the third, and then got hit by a pitch in the 5th. And then obviously a nice day at the bump, a little liner up and over the Golden Eagles dugout for strike 1. Yeah, Overturf basically said, speed. I am speed.
Again with the Pixar references.
Yes.
What is this?
I just, it's what I grew up on.
Okay, I'm going to think of one in a bit here, and I won't even mention it. We'll see if you catch it.
Nice. I'll just have to be on my toes. Love to see it. Fouled away. Count moving now to 1-2. Emery Pintar due up next here for Spanish Fork. No outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 10-4 ball game. 6-run lead for the Lady Dons. An absolute blast out into right center. It will one-hop the fence. And Overturf is going to make her way all the way home.
Yeah, she's shown that speed again. And,
absolutely.
Oh, man. Nothing stopping her.
Ain't no stopping us now. Yep, she just flying in from first base to score on the RBI single by Evans, who will again be pinch run for. It'll be Bailey Smith again coming in to run for her. Now it is 11-4. So now a 7-run lead for the Lady Dons.
Probably a good time for a mound man, wouldn't you say?
It certainly feels that way. And again, you're want to make sure that Donegan is comfortable out there and able to give you hopefully another inning or two of work and just kind of get you through this ball game and hopefully keep it close enough that maybe if you have a big offensive inning in the next inning or two, still with an opportunity here to squeak away with a potential win against a very dominant Lady Dawn team. But again, if nothing else, just to give her a little bit of confidence after a one that just got absolutely roped by Evans.
Yeah, Evans hit that one to infinity and beyond.
Toy Story. I was ready. That'll be a hit by pitch there as Pintar will make her way over to first base. We'll move Smith over to second. So runners on first and second. No outs here yet in this sixth inning. And it will bring up number 9 hitter Leah Higginson, who's made some really great contact here in this game. 2 for 3, laced a just beautiful double in the third and then roped a single in the fifth. And it is going to be a pitching change here for the Golden Eagles. Oh, no, it isn't. She just weirdly put her glove on her left hand for a second there, on her right hand. And I was like, wait a second, why? They brought in a lefty? They did not. Donegan just out here fooling me. Big swing there from Higginson. Does get a piece of it. Be an 0-1 count. Jade Romero on deck for Spanish Fork. Another big swing and just a little bit of contact there. Oh, it actually looks like, that's why I'm confused here. They brought Pintar back. They had originally given her first base saying that she got hit, but she is now back in the batter's box. That makes a little more sense, but she goes down and gets that one. It's going to be up and over the left field fence for a 2-run home run.
Well over.
Yeah. How the turns table there as Pintar thought that she got hit by a pitch. She gets sent back over to the plate and instead gets down and crushes one out to left field for a 2-run home run. And now the score is going to be 13-4 after a big 2-run blast by their third baseman.
Hey, they'll take it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's always fun to get hit, to take a hit. You know, a lot of jeering goes on. It's a lot of fun, but hey, we'll take the 2-run homer any day of the week, right?
All day, every day, for sure. So the start of another big inning here for Spanish Fork. 3 more runs here in this 6th inning after a big 5-run inning in the 5th inning. So, still churning right along here. A ball that will be well high there to Higginson for ball 1. Again, already highlighted her, but again, 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of well-hit balls. Higginson now looking at, according to a scoreboard, I've got it's a 1-2 count now. She'll get one that's going to just kind of squeeze right through the infield, just goes right up the middle and will bounce out there into shallow center field for her third base hit of the day. Nice day at the plate for Leah Higginson. Also scored 2 runs so far in the game. Love that kind of production from your number 9 hitter.
Absolutely. As well, been solid out in center field. Haven't seen really any blunders errors from her out there, so just overall a great game from Higginson.
Yeah, a mighty cut there at the plate by Jade Romero. She will miss for strike 1. 2 for 4 on the day is the Lady Dawn's shortstop. A single in the 2nd and a double in the 5th as the ball gets away from Higginson and will move.
Gets away from...
Higginson the one getting over to second on the play.
Gets away from Charrington.
Gets away from Charrington. I got one last name in there correctly, but wrong person.
We all knew what you meant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, there's another one almost squeaks past Charrington, and Donegan just needs to kind of cool her jets a little, bring that down, and she's pretty good so far. Nothing to really say about it negatively or positively. She's done all right, but she just needs to take a breather right here and see if she can get a couple in that zone.
Yeah, it's been a rough, and came in the fifth, did a nice job of kind of shutting things down there in that fifth inning for the most part.
Yeah.
But then allowing the 2-run home run to Pintar and another single there for Higginson, just kind of feels like things are kind of starting to pile up with 3 straight hits so far for Spanish Fork in this inning. She's now looking at a full count here to one of their most dangerous hitters in Romero.
And Romero, one of those players that we highlighted earlier, who's a junior this year, so they get another year of her hitting and her ability over at shortstop. And who knows what else she'll be able to bring to this team.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, she's been a contributor almost basically from jump, as had a really just amazing sophomore year last year. So they love the production that they've already gotten from her, and excited to see what she'll be able to do for the rest of this year. And coming on up to her senior season next year, she will ground out to the pitcher for that one. That's going to be out number 1 here in the bottom of
There's
the 6th.
our pitcher-to-pitcher connection. Donegan over to Jensen.
Brings up number 2 hitter Tatum Hall. 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles in the dirt. Nice job to get that one. Also throws it over to second for extra insurance.
Probably could have just held it.
Probably could have, but just in case. It's like a maybe.
I don't know. Maybe you do hold it, because if you throw that and if the throw's a little off the mark, then you're definitely advancing. Whereas before it's not probable, but it is possible, and then it becomes a definite unless the midfielder is able to, center fielder is able to advance up and scoop that up and make the play over to third, which is just a hard thing to do. So
yeah, it's not an easy throw from center to third. This one will be fouled away by Hall. We'll move the count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. Higginson at second base in scoring position. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 runs already across to make this a 13-4 ball game. If Spanish Fork is able to score 1 more run, I believe that mercy rule would be in play here, as that one is fouled away. They'll even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 from Donegan is laced out into left center. It will get past the left fielder for extra bases for Tatum Hall. It will go down as a 2-jacks double, and that will be the ball game, as Spanish Fork will mercy rule Maple Mountain here in this 6th inning. This final score on this one, 14-4. Big win here for the Lady Dons. We'll get your recap of this one when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. The Lady Dons mercy ruled the Golden Eagles here in 6 innings. The final on this one, 14-4. Able to get really 3 big innings, a 5-run inning in the second, another 5 runs across in the 5th, and then finishing things off with 3 runs in the 6th inning. Just a big offensive explosion there in those innings for the Lady Dons. Able to get a nice appearance as well from Lucy Evans, who ends up pitching the entire game there for the Lady Dons, ending up only allowing just the 4 runs, so a nice day on the bump for her. But really just a nice overall game in general here for the Lady Dons.
It absolutely was, and I don't want to discredit Maple Mountain because they came out really strong, and at the beginning of the game it kind of looked like they might be able to just put up a good front, and they definitely fought hard, but things kind of just slipped away from them. They had a great first inning and then a couple good defensive innings, but Spanish Fork pretty much said, put that inning back where it came from, or so help me. And anyways, as we continue
Monsters
on with
Inc.,
the Pixar quote. So, but, I think that it really came down to, like you already mentioned,
getting a few of us over here. I always love it when we get to, sneak on a little bit of screen time. But
I really think it just came down to Spanish Fork's ability to play together as a team. They did really well fielding, and that kind of made the difference in those middle innings of this game, where Maple Mountain kept coming up with a bunch of errors that were made over to first and just all over the field. And Spanish Fork just fielded really well, and they kind of put the brakes on any surges that Maple Mountain attempted to make.
Again, just an excellent game from Kyla Dunnigan at the plate. Ended up with 2 solo home runs for the Golden Eagles. Really only like consistent offense for Maple Mountain. But so I wanted to give her a quick shout out before we go to our MVP Sports MVP of the game, which was Tatum Hall for the Lady Dons. Ends up going 3 for 5 on the day. Ends up with 2 RBIs. Had an RBI single in the second, and then an RBI double there to kind of cap things off. Ended up being the kind of walk-off hit, as you will, for the Lady Dons there in that 6th inning. So big day at the plate for Hall. Also made some nice plays out in the field, and just an overall great game from one of their senior leaders, and again has just had a phenomenal season for them so far. And so a nice effort from their senior second baseman, Tatum Hall.
Yeah, and we mentioned just briefly Evans. She'd probably be a good runner-up for the MVP of the game. And then Higginson as well had a really strong game. Their center fielder. So, and like I mentioned earlier, it was really difficult this game to say, hey, that one person really stood out above and beyond everybody else. But just a great team effort, and everyone kind of played their role like they're supposed to play. And obviously they came away with a really solid victory when they're open up their home region play.
Yeah, this one's a great win for the Lady Dons, getting themselves all set up for more Region 8 play, and again, hoping to extend that state title win streak over to 4. Again, already impressive that they've won 3 straight, but be in a place where they could potentially win that 4th one is really awesome. I want to remind you that we do have another ball game that we'll be doing next week. That game will be the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles up against the Bountiful Red Hawks. This will be a baseball game. That will be on Thursday at 3:30 p.m., so make sure to mark that down on your calendar for all you Golden Eagles fans. It'll be a very fun ball game. Let's go ahead and put a bow on this particular game. The Lady Dons mercy ruled the Golden Eagles with a score of 14-4 for our crew here at Spanish Fork 17. He's Coach T. I'm Andrew LaRose. This has been a really fun one. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we will catch you next time on Spanish Fork 17.